the old Rachel was kick-ass. Like, and now I just look down on myself because I'm the overweight dancer now.
Rachel Paul lost 145 pounds on national television.
Okay, the weight's not the issue anymore. And then it was like, boom, this is the issue.
Instead, she gained it all back. It's a hamster wheel.
When I put on a barrier of weight, it kept the guys away.
Rachel's weight was the most obvious symptom to multiple underlying problems. We are about to cover a lot, including some very big things that I've never even shared on this channel. But before we get into all the real reasons behind Rachel's weight, we need to go back and understand who Rachel is.
My name's Rachel Paul. I was born and raised in California, grew up dancing, very active, fit kid. And somewhere in my mid-20s, I started struggling with my weight. And I'm chosen for a TV show in 2014 and 15. It's followed for a year by cameras while I lost 145 pounds. That didn't fix me, and I gained 200 after that.
Rachel grew up dancing in the 90s, and just like so many people in this area, the problem started in the mirror before the scale was even an issue.
You know, looking back, I feel like we've come a long way as a society with accepting different body shapes and more athletic builds, curvier builds. I am a curvier woman. I always felt like the biggest girl on the dance team. I'm 5'8". I always had a chest. I have hips. And in the 90s, we all wanted to look like Kate Moss, in an aesthetic art form like dance, where your body is how you're presenting the art. I tended to definitely pick myself apart. I remember I cried the day the scale said 134 in high school.
Crazy.
I'm 5'8",
Yeah.
And then it was 144 in college, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so much, and now I'm 172, and I could not be happier or healthier because I have a ton of muscle. And but I look back at dance and I loved it, and I'm so glad I did it. But I do look at some of my body image, and it was struggling early on with just accepting like the shape that I was born with.
It's a really real thing. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm also 5'8". I'm 171 pounds.
No way.
I promise.
I'm 171.8.
Yeah, but I should send you my screenshot of my scale today. Like, genuinely, we're the exact same height, exact same weight. And so I hear you, because I remember, now my scale jumped way higher, way earlier. I was not in sports. And so very different story, but same situationship with our body of man, I remember when the scale hit this. I remember that. And a lot of it was my own pressure, but how much in dance or in school or all of those things did you feel like the pressure was external or internal?
I would say a lot of it was internal. I also went to school in Los Angeles, though. LA is a lot of beautiful people, and the dancers are beautiful, and the actresses are beautiful, and the beaches are full of Baywatch people. Some of that is you're surrounded externally by a lot of high achieving, good looking. That is the nature of Hollywood. Anyone will tell you that, even the most successful actors and actresses. And so to put yourself in that environment, and I was at UCLA, but I did try some auditions around town for an agent and for the Rockettes. And I went in feeling so confident, and I walked out feeling because it's so competitive.
And it's like you're trying to put yourself with the top 1% of people, and then you feel like you're below that top 1% because you're 2 pounds heavier or you're a little curvier, and all of a sudden you don't fit the mold. And it feels, and so it takes an external, and then it feels very internal. And talking through that is like, whoa, that's a lot. How much education around food as a child or high school or college did you have, if any?
I don't think I had much food education. I didn't think much about what I ate. And I was just one of the ones, I guess. I even think about college. I know I didn't eat well. I was moving, but I was definitely drinking and eating chili cheese fries at 2 a.m. So I was out working a bad diet, but I never really thought about what to eat. I never thought about what was a protein or a carb or a fat,
I have to say, I don't think kids even now, I don't think they're taught well to know what's going in their body. It's an interesting thought pattern to, if you would have been educated, would have it changed? We don't know. We'll find out with my kids or other kids. After college, something happened to Rachel that had nothing to do with food. And truthfully, a lot of times people that are struggling with obesity have an underlying problem that has nothing to do with food, but probably something that could have happened to them or just not great boundaries around everything. But it's the real reason weight came on in the first place.
So after college, and if you watched the episode on extreme weight loss, that is when I met that one guy at church who, that was tough. That was the hardest breakup for me to go through. I had honestly had a really amazing boyfriend in college who, he was probably the love of my life. I hate to say that now.
It's okay.
And I think I was used to just having this like amazing supportive boyfriend. And then this new guy after college cheats on me, which just like rocked me to my core, because that is something my college boyfriend never would have done, like I just didn't see it coming. And, it just definitely hit my self-esteem pretty hard. I lost my virginity with this guy. It's hard to talk about. I feel like my cheeks getting hot again, because I felt very like unworthy of a husband after that. Like I just felt very bad about myself. And I learned in therapy too, a lot of it was like sometimes some of the weight, the compulsive overeating that came after that was almost like when I put on a barrier of weight through the overeating, it kept the guys away, which made it a little bit easier to navigate. Like I literally put on a protective barrier,
And that's super common. I hear this often of any client that has gone through any sexual trauma, sexual abuse, anything like that. And that's not really what I came here to talk about, but it opens the door, right? They put on weight as a barrier because they don't want that to happen again.
So this did not make the episode on extreme weight loss, but I did have a sexual abuse as a child. And that laid the groundwork, if you will. It got cut from the episode because of some of the details, and I'm glad it did. Going into puberty, dating, everything from that was always in the back of my head. And there was a lot to navigate emotionally. And then when I finally do find the guy and I lose my virginity and he does that, it's like, oh, see, you're damaged goods and you always have been. I feel like that, like you need to pull back, shut the guys away, and just, that's a lonely existence.
So lonely. And like we're the same height, we're the same weight, we're like a lot of the same. We're very different. Although we both have dealt with sexual trauma as a child. I don't share that with my clients very often, but when the door opens, and like even just thinking about me saying this to you, like I've not said this on my channel, I've not said this on things, because I think it's a big thing to talk about in a space of like, that does bring on weight gain. That does bring on hard. I was groomed at 18 by a 41-year-old man, very hard. And so that weight piled on so fast. And I get it, because it never let me down. It was always available and it was always there and I could control it. What got you to the point of being here and being at your highest to then applying for extreme weight loss?
I did watch a little bit of your story and you talked about Biggest Loser. I tried out for Biggest Loser. That's how the first domino flew. I actually had a sorority sister I was on a bachelorette party, and she looked at me and said, would you ever think of trying out for the Biggest Loser? Which is pretty gutsy if you think about it.
That is gutsy.
We talked with it to this day. I love her. Thank you, Cheryl, because she had the gut to call out the elephant in the room. Everybody who knew me in college knew me as the dancer, and now they see me, in their 30s going, whoa. But how do you approach that? How do you say, like, are you okay? And I had people say, how are you doing? Are you healthy? But she just had the guts to say, have you ever tried? And then she followed it with like, you have a great personality. You'd be a fun story. I watched the show with my husband and we think Rachel will be so great at this. And I thought, okay, I wasn't offended. I got like an on-camera interview. I don't actually know how far I went, but I went to an open call I pulled number like 900 something. I waited in the line in the sun. I got sunburned, but I got the call after that for the on-camera interview, and then didn't get chosen, but I was in the database because it's the same production company, same casting. So I got an email saying, would you want to try out for Extreme Makeover Weight Loss Edition? And my first thought was, isn't that for the really overweight people? Like I thought, I don't think I'm overweight enough, because I remember them weighing people on like freight scales and thinking like, I don't think I qualify. And then I went home. I sat on it for a few weeks, and then I got on the scale and I saw 3 for the first time. I saw 300, and I went, yeah, Rach, you could lose half. Maybe you do qualify, And so I did it. I tried out, and I got cast, and off we went. It was a whirlwind year. It was a whirlwind.
The show works. She lost the weight. And it reminds me a lot of Danny Cahill from The Biggest Loser, who I had a chance to interview earlier this year. Both of them realized they had the ability to lose weight when they dedicated all of their time, all of their efforts into weight loss, especially with the world watching. But when the cameras turned off,
I went into it you just thinking, just tell me what to eat. Just tell me what the workouts are. I got this. And even the tagline, Chris Powell says, I choose you for the transformation of a lifetime. And I thought, okay, like that's a little cheesy, like a little woo-woo, Like I don't need to transform. I'm pretty good. I just need to eat less and exercise more. We went away to boot camp for 3 months. That was actually kind of fun because it's boot camp. You're isolated from your regular life. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm losing weight left and right. And I think the reality check is getting back into my environment. And now I'm going to work and I'm fighting the old habits, the old patterns, the binge urges. Knowing what to eat and how to work out is like one piece of this. I know there's a weigh-in on Monday, and yet I kind of want to say, I don't care. I'm going to go eat donuts. And that push-pull of like, you're on a show, you're on a TV show, Rachel. Like, people are gonna see this. Do you want to tank on national TV? Everything around you points to don't do it. And you do it anyway.
Yeah, you're so right.
You're powerless in that moment, and willpower just doesn't do it. It doesn't get you through.
Shame doesn't respond to addiction. It doesn't matter if you were shamed on TV. That donut still is an addiction that you can stop. It just takes a lot of time. When it comes into real reality, like my shame didn't respond to my bank account. I would still go out and order food. My shame didn't respond to the donut sitting on the table. I would sneak it. It was that kind of stuff that, man, it's like, I want to quit and I can't. Was there an actual part where you considered quitting?
Definitely not. It was fun. It was a good year. And the first 2 phases, 1 and 2, were really my most successful. If you watch it, phase 3 is when like the binging really started coming back. The other thing that didn't make the cut was I was told not to drink in phase 2. So none of us drank at boot camp. It just wasn't an option. I kept asking, how many calories can come from wine? Well, like this is our meal plan, okay, but where's the alcohol? I think they thought they would try to, catch me in that and get a reaction out of me. And it made me mad. I was like, why are they trying to make me look like an alcoholic? And I was like, okay, fine. I won't drink in phase 2. Well, guess what? When phase 2 was over, I was like, bring it on, phase 3. And that's when I was drinking while trying to continue to lose weight. And that's why phase 2 was such a mess. And eventually I couldn't keep up with that. Like,
it's a hamster wheel.
And I get it. They're hired to make a show about weight loss. And we were hired to do a job, which was to lose weight.
You were like guinea pigs.
The executive producer, who's still a good friend, I mean, he was very honest with us one of the first days. He said, I feed my kids on this salary and I'm required to make a show about weight loss. So if you don't want to lose weight, please leave now.
Leave.
So don't get halfway through the year and go, I think I'm good. Appreciated that transparency. I had a kind of a gut feeling like things weren't going to go well because we had a call. I'll never forget the whole production team. And they said, how you do in phase 4 is usually very indicative of how you're going to do after the show. And phases 3 and 4, I had really struggled. And I thought, I think I'm in trouble,
Yeah.
I was white-knuckling it to get to the finale. It was like, get into the dress, look good. But as soon as it was over, I mean, there was the draw of partying. I wanted to go out drinking. It was summer and now I've lost all this weight. And so I wanted to eat, I wanted to drink. And that's not a good place to be in. And I kind of had a crazy 8 months. I drank a lot. I went out a lot. By January 14th, 2016, which was about 8 months after finale, I chose sobriety. I got to my first AA meeting.
Wow.
There was a couple, they're married now. They were dating at the time, who I knew from my CrossFit gym. And he was sober. And I told them first because I just knew. I was like, I think I have a drinking problem. And he said, you pick a day and you hold on to it. And he got me. He said, is it today? Is it today? And I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, it's today. And for some reason in that moment, part of me thought, I want to go home and drink one last time. And it'll be tomorrow. Like, I start tomorrow, like, sobriety starts tomorrow. But then the next day was my niece's 18th birthday. And I was like, nah, it can't be Maddie's 18th birthday. So, okay, it's today, you know? And it was. And then I ended up I had quite a nice wine collection. I've given away all my wine, like everything.
Wild.
And it stuck 10 and a half years almost.
Before your weight loss, would have you said you were an alcoholic?
No, I was so in denial. It took losing the weight, and I guess I sort of skipped over this. I'm in the size 4 dress. Everything should be great, but I was unhappy. And it didn't make sense. And that's what was really baffling. Okay, the weight's not the issue anymore. And then it was like, boom, this is the issue.
It's the onion.
You're like in science, you have to isolate the variable. It's like, okay, there's one thing left that you keep avoiding facing, and now you cannot avoid it. The proof that I'm an alcoholic is how much better life got when I gave it up. That's all the proof I need. And when people say, want to maybe drink again, I said, why would I even risk it?
No draw. Like no draw. I gave up alcohol. It's been a year and 7, 8 months, whatever. And you're right. There's no draw. I have no draw to alcohol. Like I feel great. I didn't know I had a problem, which is why I asked, because I didn't know I had a problem. Like 10 years, that's a long time. You should be so proud of yourself.
Yeah.
You had a crazy 8 months, gave up alcohol. When did the weight really come back?
As soon as I gave up alcohol, I started binging bad on sugar like I never had.
Okay.
And part of me was like, no, I'm gaining weight. But it was like addiction whack-a-mole, right? Like food's in check, here comes alcohol. Alcohol's in check, here comes food. And so I was panicking, but I also thought, well, you got to stop drinking. I got to pick one. And I've never really worked the alcohol one. So we're going to work that one. I'm going to do my best. And about 9 months into sobriety, I did go to eating disorder treatment, an IOP, which is a devout patient for binge eating disorder. You're in with people of all the different disorders, from anorexia to bulimia, and so we all look different, obviously, like some girls were very thin, but the behaviors, and that you mentioned control too.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about myself, about my relationship with food. I learned a lot that I feel like I've applied later, not necessarily in that moment, but I did that, and it was like a nightly thing. I went and like checked myself in just in the evenings,
Wow.
It was intensive outpatient. So became useful later, as well as all the tools I was learning in AA, because I did go to Alcoholics Anonymous. Those 12 steps, I think every human could use because you do an inventory, you take accountability, you say sorry, you make amends, you own your stuff. It's really a great program.
It's real therapy.
Yeah. To know yourself, you learn a lot about yourself, and about taking responsibility, and a lot of really practical tools, just for like navigating life. And then I had an amazing therapist also at the time.
That's a big deal. I will tell almost anybody, you need to be in therapy. And it took me coaching a therapist, which I did a whole interview on, it's not out yet, for her to tell me I needed to go to therapy. I coached her into losing 90 pounds. She coached me into going to therapy. There's so many levels to it that like the weight is masking the next thing that's masking the next thing till we really find what's at the bottom of this. Is it binging? Is it alcohol? Is it both? It's so deep. Weight loss is deep.
It is. To understand your own self and what your tendencies are, and doing the work. I always say, like, doing the work between the ears. Like it takes rigorous honesty and reflection. So when you do it, the outcome is amazing.
Would you say it's ever over?
No, definitely not. Definitely not, because life happens, like there will always be loved ones that die or get sick, or jobs or stress or relationships. And even when you're like, okay, I've got this figured out, then all of a sudden you're facing something you've never faced before. And you're like, wow, okay. And there's an old pattern that's like, oh, just go bury yourself in a box of donuts. And then you're like, no, that is not going to help, but you just never know what life's going to throw at you.
What is the biggest myth about weight loss that you think reality TV has forced into people's heads?
That it's all physical. When it was on reality TV, you're seeing the sweat and the tears and the grinding and just go. And you're burning calories, and calories are going, and the sales dropping. And I think a lot of what's left out is like everything that happened in your head to get you there, and everything you're battling.
The mental aspect.
Yeah. Or that it can just be achieved through like willpower alone. Again, I did AA. I am a Christian, like relying on my higher power was everything, like,
we are
yeah.
also believers. Our family is believers. And truthfully, like there is that piece of like, there was a huge piece. This is why I love these, because I can talk and tell you like some of my story, but some of the things that I haven't shared. But when I was in weight loss, when it got hard, our pastor at our church locally here was teaching on Moses coming to the Red Sea. Most people don't know this, but when Moses hits the Red Sea, it's not parted yet. And he cries out to the Lord. And the Lord responds to him and says, "Why are you crying out to me? Raise your staff and part the sea." And that just hit me like a ton of bricks of like, why do you keep crying over the same situation when I've given you the tools, like the coach, the AA, all of this, I've given you all of the tools, use them. But that's not where it ends, because you can sign up for AA and never go. You can sign up for these things, but never do it. When it parted, it was a 5-mile walk. Yeah. And the reality was that sea parted often by wind alone, and it held open, but they didn't know it was going to stay open. It was like a faith in the program, the thing that you're doing, whatever it is. And so hearing you say like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Absolutely. Like so many of us who have struggled with their weight, Rachel gained it all back. Not because weight loss doesn't work or the show was fake, but she hadn't gotten down to the root of why she gained it in the first place.
So my heaviest was actually after the show. It was 364.8, and I have a photo of the scale. I moved to Arizona to work with Chris Powell. One of the reasons I did that was I was like, I'm going to work in an industry where people are fit and they value this, because if I'm ever going to get it, I'm going to get it by working around like-minded people where there's not donuts in the break room. During 2020 in the pandemic, we launched a nonprofit together, which I love, but here I'm doing these events with him and I'm showing up and we're talking about movement to combat obesity, and I am obese. I mean, I really am, I mean, like we're talking a BMI of like 55, 56, whatever it was. I knew I've got to do it. And I talk about this little moment where I remembered a motivational speaker back when I coached dance at LA who had talked about doing something as if you've achieved the goal now. And he had wanted to be a University of Notre Dame football player. And so he said, and he was a scrawny kid in high school or something. And he said, what am I going to do? I'm going to live my life now as if I'm already the University of Notre Dame football player. I'm going to train that way. I'm going to eat that way. I'm going to sleep that way. I'm going to, and then he sort of manifested that goal. And by doing that now, the goal happened. And for some reason, and it was also through therapy, my doctor said, when are you going to start running again? When are you start hiking? I said, I want to go hiking. Oh, I want to go kayaking. And I had all these things. And she got out her notebook. So what weight will you do that? Okay, so at 250, you'll join the dating app. Okay, got it. And when are you going to start running? Okay, so 225. And I don't know if she did that on purpose to point out to me how silly these arbitrary numbers were. And then I just had this moment where I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to start doing all the things I think I have to lose weight to do. All of a sudden, I'm enjoying life. And I just naturally started making better choices. I also made 3 very specific rules. I was like, I can't order DoorDash. If I want food, I have to go pick it up at a restaurant. No pizza alone. I have to eat it with friends. And if I'm going to hit a drive-thru, I have to text Chris and tell him what I'm getting. Everything's available, but those are my rules. So I did that from like April to August, and I lost like 3 or 4 pounds, but I felt good. I started feeling better. And I said, I'm going to start tracking my food the same way I did on the show, same process, carb cycling, and I'm going to do it. And it went from there. I think when I work with people that are super overweight, they feel like they're missing life. And that's how I felt too.
Everything we've talked about here, the show, the relapse, the 364 pounds, and finally doing the deep personal work. Now you know all of that. But here's the big question for people starting their journey. What do you actually do on day 1? I love Rachel's answer.
Go do the thing you want to do, but you're waiting to lose the weight to do it, and have a blast. Girl. I work with Chris in a weight loss group. We have a coaching group, and it's like, if you're not going to the pool in the summer because you don't like how you look in the bathing suit, but you love the pool and your kids love the pool, like, go to the pool. Just go to the pool. Because when you stay home and you go, I can't do that, and then sometimes that eating happens because now you're sad and you're isolated and you're lonely and you're feeling bad. Go out and have fun at the pool. You're going to burn calories at the pool. You're probably not going to eat as much because you're in a public place, and you're going to make memories. Like, it's literally like a triple win. And honestly, most people don't care. They're not looking at you in the bathing suit. You're only looking at you. And then from there, maybe try a healthier choice. If you're thinking I'm going to eat this, maybe swap something little, like little changes.
Piece by piece.
Yeah, just little bits by bits.
If you could go back and whisper one piece of advice to yourself when you were at your heaviest, what would it be?
I would have just like hugged her and been like, it's okay. Don't be afraid and go for it now. Because I think there was shame from gaining the weight after the show. There was fear of going to the gym and being the fat girl or just putting myself out there. And I just wanted to like hide. Just go do it. And push all the negative thoughts to the side. It's going to be tough, but it's also going to be so exhilarating and so rewarding.
Well, it has been an honor to talk to you. I genuinely think I could talk to you all day.
I do too.
What a woman that people can look up to.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on the cover of Women's Health. Girl, you didn't even talk about... I'm sorry. You're right. But you're on the cover of Women's World. Like, what a big deal. You didn't even know you were going to be on the cover. Me at 300 pounds would have looked up to you. I still look up to you. Like when you tell me you're 171, oh man, does that not make me feel good? Because I want to be like you. And I mean that because what a cool person you are.
Oh, thank